say the biggest blockbusters come in threes. So naturally, it's our turn.
Not again.
Sharknado 3.
Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell yes!
Hi, Ken from Sharknado Press Room. The place is packed. Everybody wants to know where the sharks are coming. Are they going to land here at Comic-Con? We're going to find out in about 5 minutes. And I'm good.
Alright, so obviously, this is the first one. So talk to me about the success of it. But also, you guys don't take yourselves too seriously and how that's probably helped the success of the show.
Being a part of Sharknado has been unbelievable. It's been such a great experience. We had no idea it was going to turn out to be this phenomenon it's become. And it's fun and it's exciting. And because the movie is so campy and over the top is what makes it work when we act it. We can't be laughing. It's absurd the situations are in. So by playing it straight with the absurdity, I think that's what makes the film work and be as funny as it is.
What are some of the things that people have done to you, like out in the street? Like, do they give you free shark crap? Like, what are they?
I think everyone just tells you more of experiences they have. Like, oh, we have Sharknado parties at the house, and that's our favorite movie, and we dress up, and people send us pictures of their dogs just as Sharknadoes, or their kids winning awards and trophies about having the best Sharknado costume. It's just been wild.
So what will we see in this incarnation?
We've already taken over and saved LA, and then we saved New York, and now we're going to pretty much do the whole East Coast, as we would say, the East Coast.
And, will we see more? Will this keep going?
You never know. This is a trilogy, so you never say never. You never know.
I saw your creator on the TV this morning was saying, like, the amount of time it takes to make, like, Batman in 3 years, and in those 3 years, you guys have made, X amount of those movies. Talk to me about the pace of how quick you guys make it.
It's unbelievable. We take these movies and we make them exactly. It takes people years to make it in a month. And it's just really fast. And it's funny because, there's obviously no sharks in the movie. It's all CGI. So we're running from these nothing, So it's so funny screaming at something that doesn't exist. It's not there. And then when you see the movie, we're just like, is it going to be a big shark? Is it going to be that kind of shark? And it's, for us, it's just as exciting and crazy and weird as it is. But when we see the movie for the first time, it's whether else.
Last question. Newfound appreciation for sharks. Do you empathize with them?
I love sharks. I never realized how big and popular shark meat, everything was. Everything. I listen so much more. When you hear shark, I just think of I hear shark everywhere. It's crazy.
Thank you so much. Keep going this way. Can I grab that quick single loop? I walk down first. Excellent. Thank you so much. That's my old man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hi, Tara. Ken from Wormhole Writers. We're so happy that you're here to talk about Sharknado 3.
Thank you.
I know you can't give any spoilers. The film's coming out soon. But the first stop for the Sharks is Washington, D.C. Can we count on you to help eliminate some of the politicians out there? I don't care if they're Democrats, Republicans, Independents.
No, I will not be in Washington. That would be my husband. He's in Washington getting the award.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm down with my daughter in Florida.
Well, this has been an epic series. What was your most fun working on Sharknado 3?
They've all been amazing. One's been a great experience, too. Working on Sharknado 3 was great because we shot it in Universal Studios in Florida, which was so much fun. And, we just get the whole gang back together. It was amazing.
There's a lot of great guest stars in addition to you as a lead and Ryan as a lead. Cassie Servo, David Hasselhoff, and even some people like Ann Coulter.
My favorite was Bo Derek because my mother.
Bo Derek,
you can't get,
absolutely.
Yes, it's amazing.
And Jerry Springer. We're hoping that you finally help retire Jerry Springer. What did you enjoy about working on the entire series, 1, 2, 3?
I just love it. It's a great, series to be a part of, and it's amazing the effect it's had on people, and the fans have been incredible and supportive. And here we are, and Comic-Con, and it's just incredible.
And the film's coming out in?
It's July 22nd.
And everybody should watch?
Sharknado 3 on Sci-Fi at 9 p.m.
Thank you very much. I am Ken from Wormhole Writers. It's wonderful. Show everybody your shark on on your left arm?
Just a tease, man.
It's just a tease? We're in the third chapter. You begin in Washington, D.C., according to the rumors. Can we count on you to guide some of those sharks to get rid of those nasty politicians before you go down to Florida and be with your wife? No spoilers allowed now.
Michelle Buchanan is a very outspoken representative.
And Ann Coulter?
Sharknado.
Well, there's a bunch of targets in Washington. Ann Coulter, Michelle Bachmann,
No one's safe in a Sharknado.
no one's safe.
The talent pool that become background artists and cameo appearances are all, for the most part,
We hear rumors of a Sharknado drinking game about every 30 seconds. We don't know which ones are going to survive. We hope you do for Sharknado 4. But what's it like from working on the entire series? I mean, everybody loves the sci-fi movies. We love seeing you. We love tweeting about it. What's it like?
it's hard work. We come together and shoot this movie in just a little over 2 weeks. And very rigorous shooting schedule. And it's tough. But therein lies the campy nature when you're working at that pace on this type of budget. Movies like Sharknado.
Do you enjoy the live tweeting? When these come out, do you like reading the tweets? I know you can't respond to them all because there's...
No, couldn't possibly, but yeah, it creates a more immersive way to interact with the audience.
We look forward to seeing you on Sci-Fi in the United States on July
22nd.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Andrew? National policy. Alright, so the first question is, I know everyone's asking why.
Hi, Cassie. Hi, Cassie. So, actually, Cassandra Circle.
Yes, this is true. I've been trying to slowly switch over to Cassandra, but it's so hard. I'm like, I want to be Cassandra, yes.
Well, you've got a lot to come on Twitter. We love what you've done over the years.
Thank you.
And you're back in Sharknado. Tell us a little bit about who you helped dispatch without giving out any spoilers.
Well, Nova's back, and she is more badass than ever. She is sporting a full-on leather outfit and a ton of weaponry in which she's created on her own, such as half shotgun, half axe combinations, and she's even created this bus, this huge trailer-type vehicle, which she calls the Beast. Actually, her, and in the movie, her and her sidekick, Lucas, who's played by Frankie Muniz, they create this trailer which inside has dissected sharks and bombs and there are little nuts, charts and graphs, and it's so insane. It was so much fun to shoot in this thing. So she's pretty badass and ready to just slay some sharks this time around.
If your character survives Sharknado 3, will you come back for Sharknado 4? Please say yes.
I saw it on TV.
Say, oh,
Oh, hell yes!
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
nice evening.
Take care, you too.
I am so oddly proud to be here tonight. Every once in a while, film can change things. How you feel about the world. They can change, relationships. And in this case, we've literally changed nature. We have added two of the most powerful forces in the world. And to discuss this, I would like to bring up our panel so we can get some answers about oh hell no. First, we've got Mr. Ian Beery. Let's check out what Sharknado 3 Oh Hell No has in store for us this summer.
The first one shot its way from Los Angeles to the top of America's hearts. The second one to the light of the Big Apple and broke the internet before the internet was even a thing. Now, phase one guest is about to devour the entire East Coast. We're gonna start calling it the East Coast. That's right. While those other movies wait years, even decades to release sequels, we give the people what they want. sets these storms down. The sharks take a scent. It's not a pretty one. Tornadoes have now been reported all up and down the East Coast. No, it's just beginning. This isn't about being a hero. This is about us.
Greatest thing you're going to see all week. Okay, so for the entire trial, I said, how has this popularity of Sharknado changed your lives?
It's made me a better person. I feel more sensitive because of my experience. It's life-changing. I mean, anytime something this momentous, this grand, creates a shockwave that permeates past our borders globally, it's life-changing. Being part of this project, working with these fantastic people is a dream.
It's incredible. I mean, I never thought I'd be sitting here talking about Sharknado 3, and they just keep on getting bigger and bigger, and it's amazing. Everyone sitting at this table is the one we started with, Sharknado 1. I mean, you know, you have Thunder that wrote it, you have Anthony that directed all of them, Cassie came back for the third one, and you have Ben, superhero. So it's so great, and you guys, the fans, that made this all possible. So without you, we wouldn't all be here. So thank you.
I like to kind of describe it as, some people say you have like a pinch me moment. This has been like a pinch me 3 years. I still can't believe just the outcome of everything, and it's just been so much fun overall. We're part of a cult classic, you know? I mean, it's really exciting, and I get to live my inner tomboy's dreams, so thank you guys. And thank you guys.
I think the coolest thing about all of this is that when, the studios spend all this money to tell you to go watch something, you have to be there. You guys came to us and said, we're going to make you this thing. And that I think is the biggest appreciation, because we were found and made into what we were. We just made a crazy little movie that we kind of thought was fun and thought maybe a bunch of stoners would think were great. But that night, everything blew up, and that's the biggest appreciation. Now we're a marketing machine, we have this huge franchise, but it was you guys saying, hey, we're going to prop it up, and, I thank you guys for letting us continue this journey up to Sharknado.
They don't really let me out much, so I hadn't noticed there was anything going on.
Do we need to take you?
All right. They really don't let guilty eyes right there. Anthony, can you believe how far it has come since you first stepped onto the set for the first one?
These things are this whole experience is surreal. I kind of equate it to this, is like, think about this. Batman vs. Superman, by the time it comes out next year, it'll be a little less than 3 years from the time they started shooting till it came out. By the time this comes out on July 22nd, we will have shot 3 Sharknado movies in 2.5 years. In some ways, it feels like we've made one long Sharknado movie, because we really haven't had any breaks in between. But the first day of shooting, it was crazy. We're just making this strange little movie, and it blows up. The thing is, a lot of times when you do these movies, you do become close with people on the films, but genuinely and sincerely, we all bonded over this movie. Ian and Tara and Cassie and Thunder, we all ended up trusting each other during the course of the movie, because
we're making a movie called Sharknado, and these guys over here were about to kill me on the third day when they thought it was going to be called Dark Skies, and suddenly, hey, we heard it might be called Sharknado. And I said, just trust me, if it's called Sharknado, it'll be a good thing. And then we all went through this experience together where it was a success. And so, we love each other to death, and I think you see it in the film. And, we try to have fun when we're making it, when it's being written, and when we deliver it to you guys, and we hope that you guys have fun back.
Talking about what Cassie talked about, that pinch me moment, when was the moment that you realized that this was more than just your normal sci-fi movie?
It was the night that it aired. I was with my family, and we were watching it at some friend's house, the 6 o'clock showing, which was the New York screening. And so we were all going to live tweet, and we're sitting there, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to kind of do director commentary on Twitter, and then there's going to be a bunch of people telling me you suck, Ferrante, and whatever. That's what I was expecting, because I'm just going to use me. And then something was like, and I couldn't keep up with everything, and then someone over on their iPad was going, Via Farrow just tweeted, and Red Cross is talking about Sharknado comparisons. It was the weirdest experience. By the time it was over, I knew because of my background in journalism, I was like, something happened, I didn't know quite what it was. And then people were calling me from BuzzFeed, and then CNN wanted to call and talk, and okay, this is bizarre. And the next day it blew up. You just don't expect this kind of stuff. And it was pinch me because we make a little bunch of movies, and suddenly we're bigger than Lone Ranger. How does that happen? They have $250 million to make it and $250 million to market it, and yet all people talk about the rest of the summer was Sharknado.
Johnny Depp had a bird on the set for that.
You bird yourself out of a shark, so we're big out of sharks from sober on that.
And for Thunder, I really need to know, I need to peek into the mind of Thunder 11. What is your inspiration for Sharknado? Where does one come up with this beautiful idea?
Everybody keeps asking this, but it just makes perfect sense to me. I don't know. No, they brought the Sharknado title to me. Anthony and a writing partner on another project actually came up with the word. And once you have that title, it's just a matter of creating a story that somehow makes it make sense. I think we sort of justify it.
And then how much time did you have to write? How much time did you spend writing each of the films?
2 days.
Yeah. I tend to finish them on the set as we start shooting. I'm writing the end. The process of locking down the storyline, the outline, that takes a while now. Because we all have to agree on it. The first one went very quickly because nobody knew what it was going to be. It was just me and my computer, figuring it out. Once the story's locked down, it's really only about a month because we don't have any more time.
So tell us what the story is this time. Well, clearly, Andy is in Washington. April is at a theme park. Because, the family that plays together, apparently. We're separated by states. We're on the East Coast. What else can you tell us?
Well, I think for me, what's most interesting almost now isn't the sharks and the tornadoes. It's the arc of Finn's character. He started off as this,
Don't laugh, I agree with him.
family story, people. You're laughing, but this is a touching story of a broken man rebuilding his life.
The other thing about the movie that's interesting is in the first one we had Los Angeles, the other one we had New York, and you have to keep topping yourself. Someone said we over-delivered on the second one. How do you top it? And when you see this movie, we actually cram 4 Sharknado movies into number 3. And I'm not kidding. So we basically blew away 3 potential movies. We have Orlando, we have DC, we have a road trip, we have something completely bizarre that we do later on in the movie. So it's got a lot of stuff in it. And it also was cool because it broke up the idea of just being in one state, of course, or one city. The hard part is how do you get someone from A to B in 90 minutes in a 12-hour period? But that was up to him to figure out.
Actually, you're not that wrong. If you guys think about the original movie and where we've come to, Kristen and April weren't even speaking to each other. He wasn't welcome at the house. He had another guy. He lasted about 11 minutes. And then they got together, and then we had the re-proposal, and now they're, clearly back together and in love. And this, do you guys feel like maybe their relationship causes these things?
I think that the Sharknados follow us wherever we go.
This is a great stormy relationship. For whatever reason, that's where the magic is. That's, in this desperate times, it's what brought Finn and April back together, was what's most important. And now they continue on together, because in 2, she lost a hand. Remember that? So now it's been replaced by something so badass that Inspector Gadget would be jealous.
And so what brought Nova back to the scene? Because the last time we saw her, she was not a badass shark fighting machine. Now, she was fast. And now I'm thinking that she's like...
Now she's just like completely crazy, this chick Craig. She creates... Okay, so Frankie Muniz is playing Lucas in this film, and amazing moment. And we create this vehicle that we call the Beast, and inside it, there's just, your average shark being dissected, bombs on the wall. She creates her own weaponry this time around. So she was missing because she had a lot to do.
Her and Frankie becomes you from mom, basically.
Yes! And she was a fortune teller apparently, and she knew that there was going to be, in the future, a Sharknado going all the way down the coast. So she was just prepping, and she's back now. More badass than ever.
She didn't mean to warn the people?
No, she wants, all the family herself.
Alright, so you were only on for one film. How is this one different from making the first one?
Well, the first one, we had no idea what the outcome was going to be. We were just making this fun movie, and this time around, it's just knowing that it has the following that it has and the fan base, it just made it so much more exciting. And plus, we got to shoot Universal Studios, and just having all those people around, sorry, Alba, and there was so much adrenaline, and it was just so exciting. And for me, in my inner tomboy, I was just, I kept saying, she's so much more badass this time around, so I get to live out my Laura Croft moment much more in full leather.
Inner tomboy, as you come out of the way, and our Universal Orlando completely happening.
Who wrote that?
And, Tara, April's hand isn't the only thing that's different this time around.
No, April has been really, really fun too. And 3 is proof that I don't have a baby. Yeah, it's amazing.
Is that breaking news?
No, they know that.
They do?
Yes, everyone knows that.
Okay.
You just blew it, Tara. Great.
Everywhere, we talk about it. It's not everything. Yeah, it's really fun because, Sharknado has always made amazing special effects and so much action and humor and fun. But at the end of the day, there's so much heart into this film. And I think that's why so many people also relate with it. It is a family movie. Kids love this film. Friends and family, people gather together to celebrate Sharknado. It's almost like a holiday. It's like Sharknado, yes, that's awesome.
We had come to expect a summer Sharknado. We want this.
You hear that, son?
It's a Sharknado holiday.
Did you have to run around Orlando in a pregnancy pad?
No, I'm going to take it out off. It's another prosthetic.
Talk about these locations, because you guys had some access to some stuff that you would never imagine Sharknado would get.
Well, I think one of the coolest things in the first movie, we were shooting in Los Angeles, and I was saying, why don't we just go to Universal Hollywood and maybe cheat the subway there and do something, or the plane crash? It's like, that'll never happen, we can't afford that. And we tried doing it in the second movie. I mentioned to my line producer, he was like, there's just no way. And then the third movie, before we even start, they go, Universal Orlando wants you to shoot there. I'm like, and so suddenly it's like, here's another type of
movie that we haven't done, a disaster movie in a park. And here's the thing that's really weird. They are letting us shoot a disaster movie in Universal Orlando, and it's called Universal Orlando, and they opened up the doors. They said there's certain IPs we couldn't use, but you could use any of these other things. And there's a couple of little things they said you can and cannot do, but for the most part, I mean, we had shark destruction on their part. And it was glorious and wonderful, and it was like making a studio movie on block. They just were so generous with everything. We got to do stuff with the roller coaster. You know, as long as the sharks are destroying things and killing people, it's fine.
It was crazy because our trailers were right outside the theme park. And literally the first day we were shooting there, you just hear all the people, you know, and going on roller coasters and everything, you just hear them. And by the end of the film, we're so used to the screaming, and if anyone came to visit you, you're like, oh my God, don't we have to listen all day? And you didn't hear it. You're like, for hours. It was crazy.
We shot a lot in Washington, D.C. That's where the movie opens up. We got to shoot against some amazing backdrops. But there was one scene that was shot right in front of the White House, right at the gate. And you get there, and Anthony's got his camera set up, and okay, you're going to be running for about 100 yards. Right across the fence, and immediately, haul ass. You got to be moving. So I'm thinking, does the Secret Service know? We didn't have a permit, by the way. And then, so yeah, they knew. I still went over to the Secret Service guys before we shot. I'm like, you guys, you know what we're doing. But before that, I wasn't sure, anyone knew what they were doing. That was kind of beautiful.
This guy is so in shape. He's so in shape for 2 straight days. And I'm not lying, he ran all around Washington. Every single night. I tortured him every second of those 2 days, and he did an amazing job. I don't know how you did it.
The opening sequence, scene format, and it comes out with these 12-minute opening montages that are so epic that we follow through. Follow suit with the second one and the third one. Is it a 12-minute opening?
Yeah, I would say that usually the teasers in a lot of these movies are like 1 or 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. And
teasers a movie until it's like.
Yeah, and thank you Sci-Fi and Chris Regina for saying, I wanted to do like the airplane opening, and everybody was saying, oh, it's going to get cut down to 7 minutes or whatever. And we came in at 12, and the conversation never came up that you can't do 12 minutes and then do your titles, and we did it, and it's like the end of the movie was the beginning of the movie, so we got to do it again this time for our opening on this one. It's a mini movie, so that's the great part, is we get to take genres that we love, and not do parody, but do homages to things that have sharks and tornadoes. So for this one, it's White House Down with Sharks, with the sharks serving as terrorists. They just don't have guns, they have teeth. And so that's the kind of neat part about it, do an iHeart movie. And that's why I think it keeps it fresh for us and how we enjoy it, because we get to do different things, and I think that's why you guys get to enjoy it, because you don't expect what we're doing.
And you also got to shoot with Mark Cuban, the president, from Shark Tank, particularly. How was that?
He came ready to work. He was very serious about playing the president, very intense about it, and there was one scene where they were working together, and the sharks are attacking. Anthony comes over to direct. So, okay, Mark, this is really intense. Sharks, they're destroying their house. Really uptight about it. You're really upset. It's like if you found out someone stole $500,000 from you, and he breaks character and says, I wouldn't even know what's missing. Mark is such a great guy. There was one cell of pompousness to him that could have gone hard to stop. But we all started laughing because he's such a great guy. And it was funny. What did we say?
That was one of the highlights. That and actually getting agriculture to back down, because I don't think anybody's ever done that either. That was a proud achievement. And she comes up and was talking and said, no, I don't necessarily do this, blah, blah, blah. I go, no, you need to do this because X, Y, Z. And she goes, okay. I go, did I just make you back down?
That's what it is.
Thanks, yeah. And part of the clip we saw, you filmed on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many takes does it take?
One. Okay. The camera was locked off. we shot it, and there's so many different curves to this. I mean, the thing goes for 5 minutes anyway, so there's plenty of footage that, I don't know exactly where I am, they just used what worked. And it's a really fantastic sequence because, again, the shark hits the fan and everything heads south, and that's where I had to give the reins up to a real stuntman because there's a huge fall. I said, I'm going to take a pass on that one. Yeah.
But that's the thing too, they let us on top of it. We were insane. We ended up shooting on top of this roller coaster for this action sequence. And I actually was surprised we were all, in terms of not getting that anxiety. I don't know how it was for you guys, because I was having some issues with some of the heights and stuff.
Yeah, we had to walk the stairs forever. I mean, literally, when you finally got off, oh my God, get this way, go to the shape, it was hard. But like, it was literally like, I don't know how many flights of steps was that? It took like 20 minutes just to walk up the stairs. I was like, oh, it was crazy. It was scary. Height was scary.
That freaked you out a little bit?
Yeah.
You were good on that. I didn't know, I thought you guys would just say, oh, we're getting up there, let's do something.
We did it. Let me think of Sharknado.
Was that part of the fun of this?
It's true. I mean, anything can happen in Sharknado. So one of the things that we make jokes about is that they're like, well, people ask some serious questions all of a sudden. And they're like, well, that makes no sense if this happened with that. We're like, of course it makes sense. It's Sharknado. Anything can happen. There are no rules. Like, that's the beauty of Sharknado. Anything can happen. No rules.
It's not sharks, it's not a tornado, it's a Sharknado, and we make up the rules as we go along.
And stick to them. So these guys got to work in like Washington and Orlando, and you apparently spent some time in a pond.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, the coldest pond ever.
Where was that shot? Because I think
Ian and I spent some time in the pond. It was shot right in the middle of Universal Studios. In my underwear, while it was raining. Yeah. Where it was shot.
And you guys were filming in Florida when it was actually cold.
It was freezing. It was the coldest day ever in Florida. That is the Sharknado. I packed like 100 bikinis, and I bought like coats. It was freezing.
It was freezing.
But yeah, that was an interesting scene. It was. And the first one we shot in LA, but there was one scene that us three had to do, and it was at the.
4 in the morning.
Yeah. And it was like Olympic-sized pool, and we had it at the very deep end. We made it like a house inside, so it was like a living room. That's what the house is get flooded. So we built a set inside. So they fill up the pool with water. It's freezing water. It's already steaming in the pool. And it was freezing out that night. We were dying in person. We were so cold. It blows your air. And then we go to the second one in New York, and it's not supposed to snow. Now it's the biggest blizzard everybody in New York, but we're like, you got bikinis. Yeah, we were freezing to death. Then we think, oh my God, this is amazing. Florida, bikinis, yeah. It's so cold there. The coolest thing is Big Florida. I was there freezing. I'm like, wherever we're doing that, it's so hot, it's not even funny.
And I'm the only one that gets excited when it's bad weather. Like they hate me, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so, let's use it for a movie.
It's raining out. I'm like, I'm sitting here in the middle of Universal Studios in my underwear, and like a little bikini top dying. Yeah, he was doing it. He was doing it.
He uses that.
It's fun.
So aside from the weather and the challenge, what was the biggest challenge of making this one?
I think that the hardest part is, we're still doing these things in 18 days, with principal cast. We do a lot of little pickups here and there, but, the first movie we were in one state, the second one we were in one, a city, and the second one we were in one city. And here we were globetrotting we went to DC to LA to Orlando, we went to New York, we went to another state. We're going to all these different places, and we're trying to do what the studios do with the bigger budget. And so, we don't have $200 million, but we're scrappy and we make it work, and, we don't know we can't do it. And so, here's an example, like in Universal Orlando, the first day of shooting, normally a movie, one page, you do like 2 or 3 pages on a studio film. We do somewhere between 9 to 14 pages a day. And so if you've ever been to a theme park, you know how crowded it is.
And we were shooting at a functional theme park. We didn't have the support of Universal there, so they were moving us around. But the first day, in 12 hours, we moved to 7 different locations at that park and shot 7 different scenes with different actors. And that's how insane it is. You're constantly working with what you have, and the energy comes from that. It's like, oh, okay, we got these people, let's do this, let's add this, let's make this happen. And it's a lot of brain drain because you're piecing these things together. Do I have everything? Can I do this in a 1-shot? Can I do this in a 2-shot? And, it's always talking to these guys and going, okay, we got to make sure this makes sense. And we have to do rehearsal even though we have like 5 minutes. And it's crazy, but we make it happen. We started shooting this movie in February and we delivered it 2 weeks ago. And with over 300 visual effects shots. I mean, these guys are ninjas in the visual effects department at Asylum. They do an amazing job. So think about that it takes 3 years for a studio to do this, we do it in 4 months. And I think that because not everything's planned out, because you have to work with the limitations and things that happen on the set, you can't pawn something off on day 18 if something goes wrong on 1. You have to figure it out on day 1. And I think that's why these movies have been embraced, because you kind of see the energy that's there.
And when you guys are filming, are you on set as well?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Okay, so what is the weirdest thing that you had to change in the script this time around?
The weirdest thing was we had a cameo role that was written for one person, and then on the day of, we had 2 actors cast for the part, and we had to split them up on the base.
Yeah.
You see, he's in a fog. He's got so many things coming at him on the day, and the sun is going down, and he's got to get these shots. And we had to change the dialogue to suit the fact that we'd split these 2 characters. And so he comes to me and he says, "You've got to write new dialogue for this." And we're out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't have a computer, I don't have a desk, I don't have anything. And my dog had been on set that day because we were using him in a scene. And so I bring him over, I tell him to stay, I get a piece of paper and borrow a pen from someone, and I'm writing dialogue on my dog's back. Frankie Muniz and says, "Here, say this." And that's the kind of thing that we have to do to get these things done, because I'm writing scripts for $200 million films, and we have like 10 cents to shoot them.
And I love the fact that though Finn is our hero, and there's been a lot of discussion in the media lately that, we don't see a lot of female action heroes. You have now 2 of them in this one. How do you guys divide up who gets to be the hero in this scene, or who gets to do the rescue in this one?
Arm wrestle.
Be right for it.
The thing is, I always like empowered female characters, and I think it's probably, I think Buffy definitely opened up a lot of doors for that, and I always think that it's really interesting, making these women strong as much as the guys in the film. When I was doing the Archie vs. Sharknado comic, I made sure that Betty and Blonde were badass. And so I think when you have Tara and you have Cassie, you can do anything with them, and they know how to handle it, and they do it with this gusto, and I think that's the cool part. You can still be feminine and yet still be badass, and that's what they bring to it.
Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox. And the thing too with Cassie is that she also, I don't know how she does this, but we can throw the most insane, weird dialogue. And she sort of makes 100 sense and she's telling it. She has so much stuff sometimes she says, and she just throws it out and like, wow, that actually makes 100% sense.
You just mentioned the Archie versus Sharknado. Let's talk about that. So in addition to the movie, at the same time, you got to do a comic book.
Wow, this is something that happened last year. David Lamont producers met Dan Parent, who was one of the artists and one of the writers for Archie. And David asked me to do an Archie versus Sharknado page at his table. And David showed it to me. He was like, "We got to do this." So I went over and we started talking to Dan. He's like, "Tell all the Archie publishers we want to do this." And for like 6 months, I kept asking, "Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen?" And finally, in the middle of shooting, they said, "It's going to happen." And I had to write. So the cool cool thing about it is that it exists in the universe of our movies. So Betty and Rock are in Washington while things are happening, and it's an alternate view. But Riverdale actually exists on the East Coast or the East Coast, so they play a big part in their little Sharknado attack. So it was just a weird kind of thing. I've always wanted to kind of write a comic, and it was just kind of a chance to do something a little different. And every time I keep thinking there's nothing you can do with a Sharknado movie, there's these opportunities with movies, but the comic book was like, oh, we've done beach stuff. So, oh, we haven't done that before.
And he did a really clever thing.
Oh, why don't you explain it?
So, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie that I did called Josie and the Pussycats.
They're part of the
Yeah, so he snuck in Melody with it. So there was Ava Wexler and Melody from Josie and the Pussycats. So that's really
someone says in the comic, hey, you look like that girl that survived the Sharknado, and so something happens to her, man. She's the drummer, by the way. That was really fun.
And also the music. We've got a soundtrack situation.
We now have a soundtrack album. Some great bands, Cameron and Beethoven on the soundtrack, and there's this amazing cover of Wake Mutilation, and a couple songs that, one song we did, the Ballad of Sharknado, our band, did for the first movie, and is in all three. That's on the album as well, so that comes out July 22nd. Some great people on that album.
Nice. Thunder, when we announced this panel on Twitter, you tweeted over to me that I should ask you, how did Sharknado save the world?
I hesitate to get too deep about this, but from the beginning of human society, from cavemen sitting around the campfire telling stories to the Greek amphitheaters to even 40 years ago when people watched movies in theaters with 2,000 other people, it's these shared communal storytelling experiences that have been the glue of our society, that have given us a common language. And in the last 20 years, as we're all watching things on our iPhone or time delaying on our DVR, we're not getting them at the same time. We don't have the water cooler moments. And as a result, society is breaking down. And so Sharknado was the first shared communal experience of the 21st century, and as a result has saved human society.
Important situation here.
Absolutely.
Actually, let's talk about what's happening with sharks every day in the news. Like, a bird dropped a shark in some state, I can't remember which state, and there was an overturned diesel truck full of sharks in Orlando that happened a couple months ago. So Sharknado is going to get pretty close.
We're one evolutionary step away from this happening.
Yes, it will be. He will be the problem.
So Thunder, who are your screenwriter inspirations? Who do you look to?
I've always been a big Star Trek and Star Wars fan, Spielberg and Lucas, and of course, Jaws, we pay homage to Jaws in every one of these, because you sort of have to if you're doing a shark movie. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for that.
Do you want to tell the little Amblin story about the Jaws thing for free?
Do you want to give that away?
Well, we're not giving anything away. It's just that we wanted to do a reference to Jaws and we needed to get permission, and we had to get permission from Amblin and supposedly Steven Spielberg, and we got permission. So I think we both, Thunder and I, said that Spielberg actually knows we exist. That was actually the coolest moment when we said, yes, you can do this at Universal Orlando. It's like, oh, wow.
Nice. All right, so before we get to audience questions, because I know we've got a ton still to get to, so you guys are probably going to line up. Let's check out Ian and Tara on the cover of TV Guide magazine, the special comic contest. And the coolest thing about this is that this was shot by Bo Derek, who played April's mother in the film.
Yay! That was amazing. Bo Derek has to play my mom. Are you joking me? I have a niece.
So how is she as a character?
She's amazing. She's such a talented woman. I mean, she is just an incredible person. She's not just beautiful on the outside, she's on the inside. And I mean, she's a passion for horses. I mean, she's a photographer. She's so at peace with herself and with everything. It was an honor working with her.
The way she's able to compose the shot. Tara and I were easy, but, getting the shark really sit still and sit.
said that she was so excited as a photographer that she was able to get from Ian one of those, okay, I'll do it for you. So I went like, what was the shot where you were like, oh, this is kind of weird?
I was hanging off the side of the shark.
That's the one that she did, remember? She didn't want any pictures of herself? Yeah.
We were just having fun, and I didn't really feel confined. And Sarah asked you to do something. Okay.
April gets Oder as a mom, and Finn gets David Hasselhoff as a dad.
I was thrilled to know that David Hasselhoff would be working in Sharknado. First of all, he's hot. He's excellent. I was a big fan of Knight Rider and, of course, Baywatch, and here I am getting to work with this guy, and he shows up on set. He's a big guy, he's like 6'2" at least, and you know what? Very professional. We actually had a rehearsal. He and I worked out our scenes together. He plays Finn's dad, so when you meet Gilbert Shepard, you kind of get an understanding of what makes Finn tick. It was great to work with. We laughed so hard. He's got such a great sense of humor.
And he doesn't play as a weak either. He's normally lately he plays the hawk in a lot of things, and he's parodying his image. And he's fully committed. He creates this amazing character, and you guys have this great camaraderie in the movie. And antagonist.
All right, let's get some audience questions.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm a huge fan of the Sharknado franchise. The second one actually won Best Picture in my Oscar for my house. It was the writing category. My question is for Thunder. I was wondering what the process is like going to write a shark attack movie.
It's pretty complicated, because, especially now that it's become a franchise, we have to make sure that everybody's happy with it. There's a lot of input that we sort of pound out a storyline together, and then it's just a matter of me sort of hiding in my room with my computer and thinking, okay, and then the shark dies. And the whole approach has been things that start as a joke. We can't really do this, but wouldn't it be funny if? And then, after a couple of weeks, we've had that in the back of our heads, and now it seems perfectly natural. And so we just keep doing these things.
You did say earlier we also hesitate to make this up too deep.
Thank you.
So I was wondering, you've all been down on the East Coast now, seeing been to LA, what would be your guys' dream location for Sharknado to hit?
This movie's so popular on a global platform that, it almost seems to make sense to approach a foreign shore to do this. Whether it's Asia or Europe or Australia or South America, this movie is propelled by the fans. So I think we should give the fans what they want. I've heard people say they want to see it in their town. Germany! I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. What's the prayer?
Well, where do you guys want to see it?
San Diego!
Comic-Con Sharknado!
And when all the hotels go down, you guys will all be going, yes. They charged me $2,000. Revenge.
Thanks, guys.
Hi. Since the Sharknado movies were so popular and successful, do you ever want to kind of jump ship and make another series of disaster monster movies like they were with octopuses or some other monster? Keep it going.
The Sci-Fi Network has a steady stream of fantastic, crazy science fiction movies. As a matter of fact, Tarantula! It airs after Sharknado on Sci-Fi July 10th. And by Steve Gutenberg. It's not a
There will actually be an entire week of shark related movies that they're...
I think it's Sharknado Week, I think they're calling it that.
My question is that, have any of you swam with a shark?
Yes.
No.
I wish I would have one.
Did a shark battle off the coast of Catalina, and just under the surface of the water, we were able to attract mako sharks. So yeah, they're out there.
I think karmically it would be a bad idea for any of us to ever swim with sharks. I am here, don't swim with sharks. That's highly divine.
It's a text message into the water. Dude.
He's there.
And out on the beach. Experiencing a water. Vaccination.
So is the new movie going to be funnier than the last one?
They're always fun.
Look, as long as we're having fun, I think the audience has fun. I mean, you can sometimes see on TV shows and movies when people aren't having fun doing the movie, it's a paycheck, or it's like, oh, I gotta do this. You can tell that we're having a blast. I mean, these things are very hard to do, and again, if we didn't love each other so much on these things, we would be killing each other. And I think that, again, it comes across on screen. And you see, I'm getting to slide across the White House floor with machine guns. I mean, come on.
I get blood for this stuff.
And it does seem like, I mean, clearly you've got a cast of troopers that, that are having a blast, they know what they're getting into, but you also have people who now want to be in the film.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think because they see the trust that we all have, and, they see that we're going with the flow, you have all these people that want to be in the movie, and then they can get there, and they think, oh, it's going to be one way, and they realize, wow, they're really fast and efficient. And also sometimes they show up on the day, and like I think one of the White House things, I think we had 4 new cameos. Fox showed up and all these people was like, I've got to write stuff. And I'm like, Leonard, go do something. And hey, Jackie Collins, just come up with some dialogue right now. We need to put you in the movie.
You would never believe how many people just want to be eaten by a shark. What? Okay.
Yes, but we're very
eaten by a shark.
But we're very cool because we don't let everybody get eaten.
No. That's fair.
Keeps us interesting.
Hi guys, James from Nerd Central. I asked you about the evolution of the Sharknado last year, and I think you've done an excellent job. Now, my question this year is, are you going to expand the franchise by involving the video game industry? Let people get involved in Sharknado?
I can't speak for them in talking with these. I know that we had an app last year, a Sharknado app game that was available on Android and iPhone and stuff, and I believe maybe there's stuff being developed that you might want to talk to the producers. I don't know for sure.
That sounds good. I'll cast my vote for Tassie for the worldwide thing. Thanks, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, with this third movie, the universe is clearly getting so complicated, and the mythology is just getting so deep. Are you thinking you're going to have to do a reboot of the universe to be able to...
Security. This movie is rated awesome, not intended for overthinkers.
I'm sorry, but because he's now available, Andrew Garfield will be starring as Sid Shepard.
Wow. Hi. Since this is like the next Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, were there any beautiful scenes that had to be cut because they weren't good enough or time constraints?
Yeah, he's everything. There's no time to cut things for these movies. We just keep adding to them. I don't know. This is beautiful. There's ideas that we like, but they're not feasible.
It seems like each movie there's been at least one thing that we really wanted to do that we couldn't, and then we did it in the next movie. In the first one we wanted to do the flying flaming sharks, and we couldn't make that happen, so that got into the second movie. In the second movie I wanted to do our heroes surfing trim down a flooded Fifth Avenue and overturned hot dog cart umbrellas. And that didn't work out, so now we do something sort of like that in this one. There are probably things in this one that we didn't get to that'll be in the next one.
The other thing you have to realize is that our producing partners, with the Asylum and the production company that makes movies and sci-fi, you have to realize these are weird movies, and they let us do a lot of crazy stuff that they don't let alcohol out of their other movies. And so there's this trust, and everybody has all these ideas, and they somehow all work for the franchise. And without them letting us take a lead, I mean, I kept waiting on the first movie. When we do the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon thing, where he goes into the shark jumping into the air. In the original script, he's on the ground, the shark chomps him, and I wanted to do this martial arts thing, and I just kept waiting for the producers to come and like, that's going to be cut. That's going to be cut. And it never happened. Wow, someone's not paying attention right now. I can't imagine this being kept in any other movie as you guys do. And that was the thing everybody showed. So you got to give them props because they gave us an opportunity and a chance to do some things that kind of push the boundaries, including sci-fi movies do like a 12, 13-minute teaser. That's reserved for big movies. And we got to do it on TV and people still watch. So there's always great stuff that happen, and we get most of the stuff that we want in these movies. So it's usually a limitation of time or constraints or paring things down on set just because you don't have the time to do something. The Statue of Liberty was supposed to be two garbage trucks doing a game of Pong with the head, knocking it out of people, from being hurt. And we get out there and they go, yeah, by the way, you got one truck. And you have 1 hour to shoot them. And so then you go, okay, what can we do? And then it ends up morphing to that. And it's still good. It's still a good idea. It's just, you got to kind of adjust.
Thank you.
Go on.
Hello. I was wondering if filming these movies made you guys a little skeptical about going in the water?
It actually helped me face my fear. Sharks are my number one fear. Well, that would help me face my fear of fake sharks. I got thrilled with shark thing. In the first movie, I didn't even want to touch the fake shark, so we're going to places, people. We're getting there.
Cool, thank you.
I was wondering when the Sharknado 3-disc DVD set is coming out, or should I wait for Sharknado 4, 5, and 6 box set? Seriously though, is there plans for a 3 DVD set for all 3 movies included?
David? Yeah, it's
Really pretty serious.
yeah.
But I'm sure at some point they're going to pair it up. But the cool thing is that the DVDs, you get a chance to kind of do slightly different versions for the DVD. So it's fun to kind of revisit the movie, and there'll be a box set at some point. But right now we got to release these films. This will be the first trilogy.
Going back to the
There
was a DVD that came out, I'm sure you heard of it though, it was a Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus or something like that, where the shark bites the octopus.
That's the style.
Yeah.
They do a great job of it.
Hi, I was actually taking storyboarding classes at the time that I saw the first Sharknado, and I couldn't help but notice how pretty much the entire movie is framed like one big technically cartoon. So I'm just kind of wondering if you guys were inspired by animation or cartoons in putting together your shots, and was there even a storyboard artist involved, or is that a guy that takes too much time to basically fit into your deadlines?
No, the first movie we had some storyboards done for some of the sequences, some of the crazier stuff. The second one, not so much. The whole opening sequence was storyboarded on the plane, but because we just ran out of time, I didn't have a chance to work on some of the other stuff. And the third one, we had this great artist, Timothy Hopkins, who came in and did some animatics and stuff. Because there's a lot of crazier ideas that I had, and I wanted to make sure that, we could get it across and visual effects can do it. There is a level of comedy to the stuff. My background's horror. I did 3 straight horror films before this, and horror, doing suspense and doing comedy is actually kind of similar. And then it's a timing in a lot of different things, and some of it's just kind of, you got to trust your instincts. The idea in the second movie with when he's on the plane after the big thing, and then he sits there and breathes, and then suddenly the shark lands, and he goes, "Welcome to New York." We didn't have an end. I think we ended up originally in the script. It went to him going to terror, but no, it was like so dark for the opening. And the night before, I'm like, okay, what can we do? And I thought of this whole whole thing, but what if it's splatted? And the visual effects and the way I delivered it just is a perfect moment. So yeah, there is a live action cartoon at times.
Yeah, it really
Maybe
is.
you count rolling heads, like activity heads.
Yeah. I just want to say I also really appreciate how the second movie ended with I am basically falling onto the spike of the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building.
Empire State Building.
Yeah, falling onto the spike, basically surfing on a shark, falling onto the spike of the Empire State Building. And what is it like teaching you freaks? So I'm saying.
Trained for years to accomplish that. Playing an action hero in a science fiction movie is a dream come true. I'm a big fan of both genres, and this is a fun movie. It's its own genre. It's where everyone's in on the joke except the people in the movie. So it's doing something new, doing something different, challenging myself, doing things that people enjoy. It's just so rewarding. Working, again, with a great group of people, fantastic network that gives us so much leeway, great production facility that, enables this all to happen. And the fact that it's so well received, it's really surprised all of us, but we get it. We're also fans. So it's amazing.
You didn't think that you brought the thing up to the spiral. I still get questions about how can sharks survive in a tornado, yet not a single person, we kept waiting for people to ask us about this, asked how did Tim survive in the sky for so long and was able to surf on a shark onto the spiral. That never came up. That was okay. In a tornado, hey, I have no problem with that. That survives a lot of laws.
Hey guys, look, I came from Cape Cod. I'm one of the world's top shark activists. I'm wondering if you've really taken into consideration how the sharks might feel.
There's some shark that's tweeting me on Twitter right now.
People keep asking me, why are these sharks biting everybody as they come down? And I'm thinking, if you were sucked out of your home where you're the apex predator and suddenly thrown at strangers, you'd be pretty pissed too. So I think we have to start, there have been a lot of shark attacks in the last few weeks. I think they're watching.
We don't say in this movie about, should they destroy the sharks or not? It's part of the political platform of our Cuban and culture. So stay tuned and see how we handle that.
Hey guys, love the films, love the franchise. That bobblehead up there, where are you buying?
Fine. Awesome.com, where does that come from? Who knows?
Garber, are those for sale? Okay.
I think you can
Thank you. They will be as tall as the David Hasselhoff bobblehead. There it is, right there. You're laughing.
You're so going to get filmed on the way out here.
Have you consulted a meteorologist about the reality of a bunch of sharks being picked up in a storm and being thrown into civilians?
We actually had Jet Propulsion Lab comment on this. There was an article, and they went through point by point saying why it couldn't happen. But if you actually read it, what they're saying is it could happen. It just probably won't.
So, I would love to hear that call. We need a meteorologist to hear this. For you guys, the actors, and I talked about this for the story, about the trust you guys have, not just in your writer and director, but also the visual effects people. That they make it so that your reactions, because you're acting opposite nothing. So what is filming a shark attack without a shark there?
Oh my God, great imagination. It's actually just Russ and the director. Okay, this is really when it comes down to trust, for sure. I mean, I'm like, we'd like look at each other, are you kidding me? Where is the shark? How big is the shark? I mean, is it really coming out? What if it's like not that big or somewhere huge? So should we just be like, ah! Or should we just be like, oh! We were so scared to see these movies, like, when it first came out, oh my God, what kind of sharks are they going to look like? How is the acting going to be? And honestly, they did a great job. And still, I haven't seen this completely finished yet. And it was always my reaction going to match my imagination. And Anthony has voice after, well, like the second day. He really just screams things at us all the time. So
sharks flying out of the sky. So jump around and dodge the sharks and jump around things, and I'm thinking, what the hell, this is going to be the last nail in my coffin anyways. Did what we wanted, just hope that the visual effects artists didn't clown us, because what we're giving is an action, what you're seeing is a reaction. And on the day, again, you don't know if they're going to throw goldfish at you. And again, low budget doesn't really scream James Cameron, it screams like Sleestack. And I wasn't sure what's going to happen. But when I saw the first one, and realized, okay, there are visual effects substantiating the movements and our actions well enough that it was plausible. I was much more free with my movements in the second one because it was blind trust initially. Now I had complete trust, and I was jumping around, and I was punching at the sky, and it still did. It was a piece of fire that came out of the sky. It worked. And I spoke to one of the visual guys, and he's like, hey man, thanks for giving us stuff to work with. So I'm like, oh my God, we do another movie, it's going to be the movie comes. So now, I know that whatever I do, there's a huge safety net there. That they're going to make whatever action we do honest. So it's all over the place. And every time we have a cameo appearance, we get there, like, make sure you're going to get taken out. Thrash a little bit, do something. You're just going to die, but make it good. And Rick Fox, oh yeah, like, Rick, punch it, throw a couple punches, go side to side. I can't wait to see the way he goes. Punching a shark, and it's really great.
So we got to wrap this up, but I want one last one from you guys. Your favorite moment from this new movie?
There's so many great moments. What we saw in the trailer, getting sucked out of the car, was just a great day because it was a pretty big shot for us. And I think it really delivered with the visual effects and the sharks in the background, fighting my way into the car while I'm fighting a tornado. What else?
My favorite moment was, I can't say.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah,
You guys have to watch together.
It's a spoiler.
I was actually going to bring up the Sharknado as well, because that's Snowden's reintroduction theme. Kind of, yeah. And it's something new, it's been the Sharknado, and still love how in that one scene somehow with Ryan's going to the Sharknado, he's being pulled out of the car, and the coffee cup is just perfectly
That's been straining down.
I didn't know that so much, sorry. But yeah, the whole thing was fun for me, just because it was really bad this time around, that's fun.
But there's a lot of little tiny moments and a lot of other things that you like and kind of enjoy. But one of my favorite shark kills in the movie involves the head of a former president. And I became obsessed with this thing. And a lot of times you compromise with these movies, and I was like, we're doing this, it's going to happen, and I had a name for it, and we had a drawing for it, and it's like, it has to look like this. And it turned out really cool. And so that's one of my favorite moments. And David Hasselhoff actually says, there's multiple lines I like, but he has this line where he says something really funny. It's like one of those lines you're not sure how it's going to play, and then he just nailed it, and it's great. So there's a lot of great moments in the movie. Can't pick the one, they're all your babies.
My favorite moment is near the end, and it's also a spoiler, but my second favorite moment is in the teaser where Finn is getting an award and in the Mark Cuban scene. And as he's being introduced by the President of the United States, chills went down my spine. And because suddenly I was sitting there watching it, and I was thinking about how 2 years ago we were all making this ridiculous little low-budget movie that nobody was ever going to see, and how far Finn has come, and how far we have come since that time. And it was just a magical moment.
The first one chomped its way through Los Angeles and touched America's hearts. The second one took a bite of the Big Apple and broke the internet before breaking the internet was even a thing. Now, the biggest one yet is about to devour the entire East Coast.
I think we're gonna start calling it the Beast Coast.
That's right. While those other movies wait years, even decades to release sequels, we give the people what they want as soon as it's sort of ready.
Not again. I know how this is gonna sound, but I can sense these storms now. These sharks, they have a scent. It's not a pretty one. Sharknadoes have now been reported all up and down the East Coast.
They're everywhere.
Is this gonna be the big one? Is this gonna be one we can't contain?
Emerging Sharknadoes?
Sharky? Oh, hell no! Millions of people are gonna die.
You really are saving the world.
You don't know how to stop being a hero.
This isn't about being a hero. This is about us. This is about our family. What do we do now? We fight.
One by one, I beat you down. Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Bit by bit, I ain't messing around. Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Haven't had it up to here. Now I'm ready to make it clear. I'm tripping, I'm out for the kill. Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
God bless America.
Sharknado 3, oh hell no. Premieres Wednesday, July 22nd at 9.
I'm gonna kill them! Every last one of them!
Tried that 3 times.
Only on Sci-Fi.